Hi guys, so I just wanted to quickly show you how to turn these crampons from into monopoint. These are the Singing Rock Lucifer 2, so they come like that. First off, excellent customer service. I had lost the little spacer that you put in when you take one of these out, so I emailed them and they just sent me one free of charge straight away. So I thought that was quite nice. So anyway, so I've changed one already, which is the left one. As you can see, there's a slight curve in this actually. There's a slight curve, that's the left foot, and then that one goes on the inside where your big toe is basically. So I'm going to do that the left one, so I'm going to do the right one here. So what you need is a screwdriver and an Allen key. So first off, turn around. Actually, first off, you can open the back here. If you lift it up and slide it to the side, then you can slide the front half out. And I'll show you in a minute why this is very clever. And then you take out this, and you can work out later, but it's easy to remember if you just remember which way around it is. One side says L, one side says it doesn't anything, so that would be right. But it does actually just about, you can make it out there. There's an R for right. You need that later on. Right, so that's the right one, so we want the left one we want to keep. And you can actually also see it because it's the big one there, so you just want to put the space in there basically. So what you need the screwdriver. So there's two little screws here you take off. So you take them out, which is straightforward, just a little screw. So that's it, turn around, and that makes the yellow bit slide just a little bit. The next thing you'll need to do, you need to undo this bit here. So you need the Allen key. I think it's the number 4, if I remember correctly. Yep. But when you turn that side also turns. So you need some sort of spanner. But what they've done, there you go, you can see the spanner at the end there. So that's quite clever design. So you just use that to hold that side. And while you hold that, you can you can use the other one to loosen it. Well, whichever one you want to turn. So I'm just loosening that off. And then when it's loose enough, you should be able to hold it by hand. So a bit more. Right, so that's it loose now. So just try not to lose any of the parts. So the little spacer that they've sent me just comes in a little box. It's just they normally come with the crampons when you buy them, but I had misplaced mine somewhere, and when I decided to change them I couldn't find it, so I just emailed them. But excellent customer service. So it's just a little disc like that. Then what you do, you pull that bolt out, don't lose any of the parts. And we said we wanted to keep the left one here, so it'll be the right one now. This one comes out, so to pull this one out, you'll need to, the yellow should slide up a tiny bit, a fraction, and then it does. Let me just pull this forward. You can see there's a tiny gap, if you can see it, but that's how much the yellow will slide forward. There you go. So it's not much, but just a little bit, but it's enough for you to just pull this one. If you look at the other side, it just pops out, that one. Yep, now they both come out. So to think about it, we wanted the right one, just to make sure it's this one. So it's that one we wanted. And then we just got to make sure that whichever one we have on the other side, yeah, second, so the second one we want. And then it's just a question of putting it all back together. So the way I've done it was, I'm just going to copy the other one. So that gap goes in there. So you just put the bolt, I don't know if you can see it, you put the bolt through the big spacer and then through the point. Just give it that one. And then you just got to put the 2 little spacers in there. So you do one at a time. And then the second one. And then when you have them both in, you just slide it through. And if you move that yellow one back as well, then when you screw the line, you know it's locked in. What it actually does, it just means even if you take the board out, it doesn't quite come out because the back here pushes against the yellow, so it can't come out. It's quite clever little thing. Yeah, and then you just put it back together. It's not very complicated. You just got to get the right screwdriver. And what you find now, if I can get this on, it's a tiny little gap there. So don't worry about that, because when you come to tighten it, there's a bit of flex in these, and it will tighten. So then again, use the back of this at the spanner and the Allen key. So now, if you can see that gap starting to disappear, and then you want this quite tight. You don't have to go crazy, but you do want to go quite tight. And as always, you do want to check these before you head out, just to make sure that there's no loose balls or dodgy bits in your crampon before you start climbing. So there we are. Same with, all of these kind of connection points you want to check. So that's it. Then as before, you want to make sure it's the right way around. I mean, you'll always work out quite quickly anyway, because it's the right foot, so you want it that kind of bent on it. So when you go this way around, you want to make sure, and it goes in, sorry. So yeah, you want to see the R, which I know it's hard to see on there, but there's an R. The L is easy, so the R is on the other side. So you just slide it from the top in there, and then you can see you've got that kind of a tiny bit of a bent on it. And then on the back, it's just a question of going back and sliding it in. And then once you are where you want, you just push this over and it locks it back in place. So there you are. And now I have 2 mono points. And what I now got to do, the last thing, is I got to put the 2 little screws back in, which are from the top. So your boot sits on top of them. So again, it's much harder for them to, if they were a bit loose, so they don't pop out. But again, you don't over tighten these. Just and they just put the little plastic back in. If you do them too tight, they'll probably just overturn because it's just plastic. So there we have it. Now we have 2 monopoint crampons ready for winter. And just make sure you don't lose this bit. Keep it somewhere safe. And the nice thing about having only one is that when it gets blunt, well, you've got a spare set. But yeah, you can sharpen them. But so yeah, straightforward, easy. You could do it depending on what route you do, or you could have different crampons like different people do. I've got different set. These are just my more technical ones with a monopoint, which is nicer to climb in little technical routes. But then, and as always, make sure that you have the right fit before you set off in the day. But that's a different video, or check that somewhere else. I'm just here to show that. I just like the fact that on the back of this it had the little spanner, so you just need an Allen key. So if you wanted to, you just carry one of these, but it's weight. So I have one in my van, a little set here, and I can change it easily enough. I guess even without a screwdriver, you probably could force it out, but yeah, you need a screwdriver and an Allen key. So that's quite a clever little feature. So there we go, changing them from dual point to monopoint. I hope it was useful, and if you have these, or you're considering these, they are very good. And the customer service it's amazing, something that a lot of other brands seem to be lacking nowadays. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and remember to click the little subscribe button at the top, and hopefully you enjoyed it and it's useful. And I'll hopefully catch you later.